Okay, there we go. I logged into my other device. Fine. Okay. I apologize. Boy, Rami Bar Chama. Yeah, we're about 20 lines down from the top. Tzadi Bava Amud Aleph. Like we said, a lot of shilas in
We have a new
tonight's paper.
member. Menachem Pollock joined. I have to say welcome.
Oh yeah, that's who MP is. Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
well,
MP. Yeah, we have to say
welcome. So
welcome.
we better be on our
Thank
best
you.
behavior. We better be on our
Yeah.
best behavior tonight.
Another
Okay,
another Daf Yomi, Rabbi.
there you go. Okay, welcome. So boy, Rami Bar Chama. Shelu L'Riva Mahu. I can't say I understand exactly what the shaila is, but let's say the guy borrowed the animal to sleep with it. Let's call it that. Rashi says, "Hu atzmoi." I'm not sure what, as opposed to what, to rent it out to people, to take a commission.
No, it could also mean to breed it.
No, a river.
It's used for that too. We had it. We had it a few blocks ago.
Yeah, but I don't think we would use the lashon. It's.
We did. We used it.
Yeah, but that was okay. I hear.
But,
I hear what
but
you're
there's never a vlad unless it's a mule that comes from river, you know.
Right.
No,
Okay,
no, no.
whatever
We
it is.
used it to breed. Whether the oil is allowed to watch it or put it in or whatever. And we use the
Right.
Lashon River.
Right. Bestiality, as they call it. That's what he wanted to do with it, right? Okay, so what's the din? Meaning, is he chayiv? Is he like a shomer sacher, right? Or is he like a shoyl? So, but the shaili inchi binan. In order to be chayiv, you have to rent an animal for what it's normally rented for. Ulahachi le shaili inchi. People don't normally rent animals in order to do bestiality. Idilma time of my or either Idilma time of my mishum hana. The reason is for hana. Hainami ha isle hana. Bottom line is he's getting hana, so therefore it's no different than any other borrowed animal. That's shaila number one. Shaila number two, shaila lirisba mahu. Actually, lay ra'isba. Right? If he borrows it just so he looks good, a guy's got a fancy horse, and he says, you know what, if I walk around with this horse, people are going to think I'm chashuv. So, but that's not your standard reason to borrow an animal. So, does it have to be something that's worth money and the animal's worth money? Or it needs to be something that you're going to have hana from it. Meaning, yeah, Rashi says you have to be nene from the animal itself. But lekon, you don't have that. Because here you're not benefiting from that. Normally, when you use an animal to plow or to ride on it, so then you're actually benefiting from the animal. Here you're not. Here you're just benefiting from the looks.
Rabbi Stein, my Shahaya, I bought a watch from Brooklyn, and there's a red tag on it. And they said if you take off the tag, you cannot return it. I said, "Well, am I high? Like, what's wrong?" They said people were buying watches from the store, going to a chasana to show everybody what fancy watches they had, and they went the next day back to the store to return it. So they had to put a tag on it, and once you cut off the tag, no more returning.
Wow.
That's Mamash's Gemara, you're borrowing it so everybody thinks you're a rich guy.
I thought he was going to tell us a case about a behemoth. He told us a case about a watch.
Modern day, it's a modern day behemoth.
Right.
Back then, you showed off with a behemoth, and this and nowadays you will show off with a watch. Yeah, it's taka. But the truth be told, we're all guilty of it because if we see a guy with a nice watch, we think chashuv of him. That's what we do. Same thing with a car. Guy comes out of a nice looking car, we're all machshavim. Okay. Shaila number three. Shaila lasis bapachis mipruta. Let's say he borrowed it to do something less than a pruta. Mahu. Then what's the din? Mamayna beinon va'ika. That you need money. Meaning, does it have to have something of value that he's borrowing it? And he did. As we know, anything less than a shava pruta is nothing. So memel, it's not as if he didn't borrow anything. Yeah. Shal shtei paris lasses man pruta. If he borrowed 2 cows to do a pruta, so it's a half a pruta per cow. Mao mi amrin and zilbasta shoyl mashal. Do we go with the borrower and the lender? So the borrower and the lender, v'ika, and you have a shava pruta. Meaning, if you go with each animal individually, if you calculate with each animal individually, so then that's only a half pruta and half pruta. This is obviously assuming that the previous question's answer was that you are chayiv for a loan if it's less than a pruta. Because otherwise, if you say that you're not chayiv, then this question doesn't start, right? I'm sorry, the other way around. If you're chayiv for less than a shava pruta. I'm sorry. No, I said it right. I'm sorry. Sorry for the confusion. Again, this is like an intim salomer, but the Gemara doesn't say intim salomer, right? This is going with the assumption that you will not have to pay. So here, is this considered like a pruta or not? Two animals equal a pruta. If you go with the borrowing lender, he borrowed a pruta. If you go with each individual animal, he didn't borrow a pruta. He borrowed two half prutas. Zil basar paras. You go with the paras. And each one doesn't have doesn't have money because it doesn't have a pruta. Okay, that's shaila number 4. Next, shal meshutfin. Let's say he borrowed. Now the next ones go.
Does this have a din of imtim salamer that we say that the Gemara is answering the shaila with asking like the imtim salamer?
I was wondering that. I don't know because it doesn't say it, right?
Right. There's no imtim salamer, but if you say that, then we'd pass in that way.
Rashi says intim salama, but that's it.
Right, but the thing it doesn't say.
In
It has to
Gemara.
be intim salamer. It has to be an intim salamer.
I'm saying, so do we pass in that way? Allah Maisa, based on the fact that it's.
I don't know. I think we pass in the kula by all these shilas, as far as I know. Anyway, so show me shutfin. So now the next bunch of shilas go with. We know that as we've been learning the last couple of blot is at Bailav Imoy. There's a pasuk that says that if the owner of the animal that's lending it out, meaning owner/lender, if he's employed by the borrower, then the borrower's putter he's putter from anything that happens to an animal. So here we're going to have all these unique situations where there's a couple of different owners. So let's see. Shalom Mishutan. Let's say he borrowed from partners, right? And one of them was employed by the borrower. Mao, so what's the din? Kuloi balav, do you need the entire ownership of the animal to be employed by the borrower? But halakha, you don't have that because only one partner was. At least he should be potter from half because he had the owner with him. He had half the ownership with him, right? The Gemara doesn't have to
don't do everything together. When you deal with partners, one person represents the company. They're not Siamese twins partners.
So which way are you going with this?
I'm going with if your partner buys 100 cases of eggs from you, and one partner signed the invoice, so you can say he only has to pay you for 50 cases because his partner didn't sign it.
Okay, good. You're saying
maybe it's probably in the shiloh we had before with the two, the whether you have to work the machlokes tanaim, whether you have to work with the animal itself or not, whether the Baal Bima means that he's working with the animal itself or not.
That's also a good point, Akiva, because if you're going without that, then l'chor the whole shiloh doesn't start. Meaning, if you go with that opinion, the whole shiloh doesn't start. But no, here Rabban, this guy is, what do you call it, moonlighting. He's moonlighting as a part-time part-time police officer, and you hired him for your party, right? One partner is a police officer, so meaning you borrowed
Then you're changing the case. He's not acting as part of the partnership.
No, there's two things going on here. The owner, they have a car rental company. Let's go with a car because they have a car rental. Two shutim have a car rental. You borrowed a car from them, right? One of the owners is also moonlighting as the chauffeur. Has nothing to do with the company. He tells him on the way out of the door when he's renting out. He said, "By the way, you want me to drive for you? I can chauffeur for you, right?" So then that's exactly what the shaila is.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So no, it's good you brought that point out because that's in l'chayr. If it's all company related, then it shouldn't make a difference. But then you're going to get into Breira, but. No, we're not going to touch that. Okay. Anyways, so that's the shaila. So one of the renters, one of the lenders is employed by him. That's shaila number 1. Shaila number 2, shutfin sheshalom.
what about stealing two shit from steel? A person steals from an animal that's owned by two shittim, and he's moided to one of them. Does he pay the whole knas or not? Why is that different?
You mean if he was only
The guy,
minded to?
Reuben steals from Shimon and Levi are partners. Reuben steals the animal, and he goes over to Reuben. He says, "Hey, I stole your animal." He's moided to him, so that means he's only moided to half of the animal. He pays half the kefil.
Doesn't have to be
Or he doesn't
minded
pay
to
anything. But
based
moided
it.
to knas.
Doesn't have to
Right,
go to based in to be minded.
Moided.
whichever he did, what's the difference?
Yeah, he's only
I
moided
thought
to
did
one
we
of them.
not
What does that mean?
did we not have
He
a
should be
Gemara?
potter, no?
We had that. We
We
had
had this
that.
in the Gemara. That's why I'm bringing it up. We had this going back
You're
in
saying it's a
in one
two-shtel
of
to
in
that.
one of the other volumes.
The Gemara says that's
Yeah.
not called the Moed of a Mixas.
Right. All right.
Moed of a
You're right.
Mixas is only Moed of a Mixas at Taina. Not so
Yeah.
that Moed of a Mixas at Tayanim.
Okay, I hear. No, you're right. That's probably a good sushtel. The Gemara doesn't say it, but yeah. Okay, now the would have been very good. The other way around. Shutvin sheshalu, partners borrowed, v'nishal le'echad mehem, right? And then one of them, meaning that two partners borrowed from one owner, and that owner was working for one of the partners. Mao, kulei shayel bina, do you need the whole borrower? V'leka, you don't have that. He palga the shaili mias mifta, or at least that half that he borrowed, he should be put. Third shaila, shalmi aisha, if he borrowed from a wife. Now we know we have the whole nichse milug, nichse tzem barzel thing. So really, the husband uses the peiros. Nichse milug is the husband uses the field belongs to the wife, but the husband gets to use the fruit. So the question is, how do we look at animals with this agreement? So Shalmei Isha, a guy borrowed from the wife, Nishal Baila, and he also used the husband. Right? So meaning the husband was employed by him and he borrowed from the wife.
With Ishteke Gufa, no, so she's always there.
Well, what do you mean?
Just playing one thing against another more, but
No, it's gonna
if it's
be
your wife,
tomorrow's
you're always
daf. I
there.
think what you're saying is gonna be in tomorrow's daf. Yeah, very good. So Shalom Isha of initial Baila, so he borrowed from a woman, right? And he was literally means he borrowed from the husband. So Isha Shashala, or the other way around, the woman borrowed, Initial Labal, and the owner was you being employed by the husband, Mao. Kinyan Paris Giginian Guftami is owning the Paris, which is what happened over here, because the husband has rights to the Paris. Is that like owning the whole thing? In which case, the husband and wife, it's like it's one big chalent, they're together. Or do we say not? So
Why would we say that's like one big challenge? Why wouldn't we say that it's a Geneva? She can't lend out something to the kids.
She can't.
Right. So that's Toisvis Kasha. What you're saying is Toisvis Kasha, Shalom and Aisha. Right? Right. Toisvis says she's not allowed to do this.
Not allowed to do what? She's not allowed to sell.
She cannot sell or rent it out. The husband has the rights to the Paris. Right? So that's
She could lend out. She can't lend out.
She can
We
without
spoke
the
about
husband.
that for 3 weeks, that she lends out eggs to her neighbor. For 3 weeks, we've been hacking with that. Now you said she's not allowed to do it?
No, those are ones that belong to her and her husband together. Right? This belongs really to the husband. Also, there you're assuming that the wife has permission from the husband. And a chanami, if the husband tells her not to lend out the eggs, she can't lend out the eggs. Right?
He knows what's good for him. He better keep his mouth shut.
Well, yeah. Well, so Taisus says two pshatim. Either Taisus comes out that the man also can't lend that out without the wife's permission, or he says that what the Gemara means is that he borrowed from the husband of the woman's the next look that came from the woman. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so Amalei Ravina Ravashi. One more shayla. A guy says to his shliach, "Save hishali in parasi, go and lend yourself out on my behalf with my para." Meaning, he sends the guy and he says, "Deliver this para to somebody, right? And then work for him too." Mao, bailav mamash bina. Do you need that the owner has to actually be working for the borrower? But like you don't have that because it's his shliach. As we know, the shliach of a person is like him, veikan that you have. So those are the 4 shilas. So the Gemara wants to at least answer 1 or 2. Baal, the whole shilah with the husband and the wife is plugged to the Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. That's actually a machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. And shliach is plugged to the Rabbi Yonasan and Rabbi Yeshia. That's a machlokes Rabbi Yonasan and Rabbi Yeshia. Baal plugged to the Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. The case of the owner is a machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. Di'itmar hamaycher sadeu l'chaver leperes. Somebody sells his field to his friend for Paris, right? Meaning basically sort of like a sharecropper, and he rents out his field and he tells the guy for the next 5 years you get all the Paris from this field, right? Rabbi Yochanan maybe Rabbi Yochanan says he brings, and then when you bring bikurim, which is the first fruits, so you have to read the psukim, right? Arami Yoiveravi, as we know from the Haggadah, right? So, but you only do that if you own the field. So Rabbi Yochanan maybe v'kara, you bring and you read. Rish Lakish maybe ve'ena you bring and you don't read. Right? Why? What's the pshat in this machlokes? Whether you're supposed to read the psukim. Rabbi Yochanan maybe v'kara, he says you bring it and you read kinyan peres kinyan haguf dami, because owning peres is like owning the guf. Rish Lakish maybe ve'ena you bring it and ena kinyan peres lav kinyan haguf dami. Just because you own the fruit, because you bought the fruit for the next bunch of years, doesn't mean that you have that the fruit belongs to you. I mean, that the land belongs to you, so therefore you don't own the land, therefore you can't read bikurim. Shliach, look to the Rabbi Yeshia. The case of the shliach is a machlokes. The Tanya Aimer la apotropos. Somebody tells his apotropos. I mean, this is talking about where a guy's going overseas and he appoints somebody to be in charge of all of his finances. So he says to him, "Call the darsha to ishtinederes." I guess the guy knew that his wife can make all sorts of nedarim. So he tells him, anybody that makes nedarim, if my wife makes any nedarim, mikan at shavim from now until when I come back from this particular place, haferla, I want you to be made for it first. He asks his hapatropos to be made for it. And he does, and he's made for it. So yachol yehu mufrin. So you would think, okay, so this stranger, normally a husband is the only one that can be mater of wives in the darim, but he made this guy into a shliach. So you would think that it's considered nullified. Tamalemer isha yikimenu isha yefirenu, meaning isha when a yud means her husband, not wife. Her husband is mekayim the neder, and her husband can negate the neder. The Rabbi Yoshia, so it has to be the husband. We know that there's this rule of shliach shaladim kamaisi. So why shouldn't it work here too? So therefore, you see that there's a machlokes the same way you have a machlokes whether a husband can appoint somebody to nullify his wife's nedarim. So you could also have the same thing that an owner can make a friend, a shliach, to work for the borrower, and then the borrower will be exempt if anything goes on. Okay, now back to more shilas. What happens if he says to his servant, "Go, bring the parah to somebody, and I want you to work for him too"? So now an evid's different. So this is a shaila according to the one that says that the shliach of a person is like him. And it's a shaila according to the one that says the shliach of Adam is not kamaisa. It's a shaila according to the mandama that says that the shliach does work. The bar mitzvah. That's only a shliach who's a bar mitzvah, meaning not 13. Yeah, I mean 13 too. But meaning he's somebody who is chayiv in mitzvahs. Aval eved la bar mitzvah loy, but an eved who's not a bar mitzvah, he can't be your shliach, which is a whole sugya unto itself, right? Which is, can you only make a shliach for somebody who's chayiv in that particular mitzvah, right? Meaning it can get into all sorts of shilas with havdalah. Can a woman make havdalah for a man, right? Because she's not as chayiv as the man. All those type of shilas. And even if you go according to the Manda Omar, who says that you can't make a shliach, hani mili shliach. That's only about a shliach. Well, eved, an eved's more than a shliach. Yad eved ki yad rabbi dama. We know that the hand of an eved is considered like an extension. It's considered like the hand of the master. So therefore, it's much more than a shliach. So maybe it'll work. So Amalei Mistavra Yad Eved Ki Yad Rabbi Damiya. Mistama, the hand of an Eved is like the hand of his master. Fine. Next shilas. Boira Rachama. Baal benichse ishtoi. Right. So a Baal with the nechasim of his wife, meaning the nechasim that he's allowed to use on Tama Beis. Shoyel Havi, is he looked at like a borrower? Or Soicher Havi, meaning if something goes wrong. Let's say his wife comes into the marriage with a car. So the husband gets the car, and then he drives it and he smashes it. Is he considered like a shoyel? And which means he's chayiv in einsim. If something is an accident, he's chayiv. Or do we say that it's a seicher and then he's going to be potter from einsim? So my Rava,
Shalom It's a shalom hazel.
yeah, okay, well, whichever you want to call him. Yeah, so my Rava. The form here Rava says a very nice statement. He says the form churfa shavashta, because he's so sharp. Rami Baracham is the one that asked the question, and Rava is saying because he's so sharp, he messed up.
But what is the Sadim Shaila Seicher? What's the Lumdus?
What do you mean? What is he? Is it like as if he borrowed it, or is it as if he rented it from his wife?
Why is maybe he's a Shaymer Sacher? Maybe he's a Shem Chinam. Maybe why are we suing?
Because he's not a Shem Chinam. He can't be a Shem Chinam because he's getting benefit from it.
Shem Sacher.
Seicher is a Shem Sacher. Same thing. It's the same thing. Seicher is a Shem Sacher. I mean, according to unless you go with the Shitas, they're not like that. But Pashtus, that's what it means.
Shoyel. Okay, I guess the Gemara will explain.
No, the Gemara actually doesn't. The Gemara does not explain. Shoyel because the Lemaisa, he's a schnorrer. He's getting all the benefit, right?
But she has obligations to him, and he has obligations to her. What do you mean?
Yeah, but have nothing to do. Those obligations, I guess, are not directly related to the property that she brings in. He's got the same obligations regardless of whether she comes in with anything.
Right, but but if she brings the same look, she has obligations to him to let him use it.
Correct.
Are we talking about Saint Barzal now, or is Chayav Achrayas?
No, we're talking about Maluk.
Maluk. What's the tzad of Shoyel?
So Taisus is sort of asking. I think what you're asking is sort of what Taisus is asking, right? Well, Taisus doesn't really ask it. Taisus is saying it could have asked that it's telling whether there's a achrayas for the Baal or not, right? Which I think that's what you're asking, Zev. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so Rabba says lefum churfa shavashta, because of you so sharp, he messed up. Man of shach. He says either way. Ishayel havi shayla b'bailim he. I said Naftali was tomorrow's daf, was today's daf. Okay, Marasha. Ishayel havi shayla b'bailim he. If he's a shayel, it's shayel b'bailim, right? Because the wife is constantly serving her husband, and he's seicher havi schiras b'bailim he. Meaning, whichever way it is that you look at it, that the husband is either renting from the wife or he's borrowing from the wife. Either way, he's also employing the wife because the wife's working for him. So he's going to be potter because of that. Right, which we're going to see in tomorrow's daf. It's very interesting. Zev, I don't know how it works in Darche, but bottom line is the yeshiva is working for the Talmidim. So let's say the kid damages the yeshiva, right? Or maybe that's a pshia. Let's say by mistake. So the yeshiva wants to charge him. How does the yeshiva charge him? It's shayla b'bailim.
Is the yeshiva working for the kid or the parents?
Don't make a difference. The same thing.
Why are the kids if they're under bar mitzvah? Why are they extension of the parents? They have no shit to that.
Well, then they're potter. I'm
saying the kids are not working. Yeshiva's not working.
Let's say a high school, right? So But we're going to see in tomorrow's daf, but it's an interesting question. Comes out the yeshivas are working for the kids. So Mamela, right? So Mamela, you can't. How do you charge a kid for doing damage? Or for
Zevi's face, he doesn't know what to do with this.
No,
Not just
I'm not. I don't. They don't do anything by us. I'm saying they don't. They don't charge. Maybe a knas. Could it be a knas?
whatever. No, knas. No, knas is something else.
Why?
No, I'm saying let's say a parent pulls into the parking lot and smashes the gate. I'm sure it's happened, right? How do you? Let's say.
You know what I'm saying? They don't pay.
No, of course they probably don't pay. But I'm saying, let's say the yeshiva wants to charge them. They can't. L'chayra, they can't. I mean, a guy borrows something from his wife. That's what the Gemara is saying. A guy borrows something from his wife. The wife is employed by the husband. It's a sheila b'bailim.
So what do you? I don't understand. What's sheila b'bailim? What does it mean?
Means when the borrower is also employing the owner / lender. If he's employing him and he's also borrowing from him, then there's the pasuk says that he's potter.
So how's a wife being employed?
A wife has to work for her husband. A wife has to work for her husband.
What do you mean working for the husband?
She has to cook. First of all, any money she earns goes to the husband.
And what does work mean to get paid for it?
She gets paid for it. She has to get fed by the husband.
So we said, sus, what's it called? Clothing. We said yesterday.
That's not getting paid. That's chiv.
Now, first of all, it doesn't make a difference if it's paid. It doesn't make a difference.
You obligate yourself when you get married.
Yeah, that was the mitzvah. It could be borrowed, shoyel, or seicher, the bailim. It doesn't matter whether they're paid for it or not.
I'm trying to understand the wife. The wife, how is she considered sheila
The wife
b'bailim?
is doing malacha for her husband.
Malacha?
Yes. Whatever. Doesn't mean malacha. It means she's servicing her husband. That's all.
For pay?
Doesn't have to be for pay.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't have to be for pay. You could do volunteer work also. You could do volunteer work.
Even if you're not working, you still have to do certain things for the husband. It's a Mishnah Shubas.
Right.
Even if you're rich, you're still mechayiv to do things for the husband. It's a Mishnah.
Correct.
I don't understand what it means that she's working for the husband.
She's providing services for the husband. Therefore,
she has obligations to the husband.
So good. So yes, it is. That's work. That's obligations is work.
Really?
Obligations. Yeah.
You think your wife doesn't consider doing your laundry working for you?
Doesn't know what to say. His shver's on the.
If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
She considers it that she's working.
Correct.
I don't consider. All right.
He doesn't. Watch out, Zeb. Watch out, Zeb. Make sure your wife's not in the room.
No, I don't.
Shver's in the room.
Yeah, I don't care.
Anyways, okay, but that's what. Let's see. Maybe you'll get a little clearer with the next line. That couldn't be Rami Bar Chama. That couldn't be Rami Bar Chama's shaila because it's not a shaila. It's shaila. It's because it's sheila b'bailim. So what is Rami Bar Chama's shaila? The agar mina para v'hadar nasba. It's talking about where the guy rented a cow. Again, the man rented a cow from the woman, and then it was just romance, and he married her. So agar mina para, he rented a para from her, and then he married her. Shoyel Havi, Seicher Havi. Is he a borrower or is he a renter? Meaning what? Shoyel Havi. Is he a borrower? Va'asi Sheila b'bailim. Now, when he borrowed it from her, so comes the shaila of the bailim, the borrowing of the husband, mafkas schirus shaloi b'bailim, and it kicks out the renting that's not b'bailim. Right? Because again, he originally rented it from her before they had any relationship. Then he decided to marry her, right? So now do we hold that now that he's using his wife's animal, it turns into a borrowing, in which case it's a borrowing that kicks out the renting, and it's sheila b'bailim because now the wife is working for the husband. Or is he a renter? And the schira stays in its place. When he originally rented the animal, the wife was not married to him, so she was not employed. She was not employed by him. So the Gemara asked an obvious question. So what are you saying? That if he becomes a borrower once they get married, so the borrowing knocks out the renting? I'm sorry. Right? The renting, the borrowing with the wife once they were married knocks out the renting before they were married, and it's considered like he borrowed with the husband, with employing the wife. And let's say he would be a seicher, not a shoyl. Same question. The renting that it turns into a rental from his wife, meaning originally it was a rental from a strange woman. Then he married her. So now it turns into a rental from a married woman, which now makes shayla b'bailim. So tesis schirus b'bailim, tepik schirus shaloi b'bailim. So let the schirus of the bailim knock out the schirus shaloi b'bailim. So that can't be the question.
Why is it considered a new contract?
Because now he doesn't have to pay anything, because now it's his wife's.
Why do we say it's the same skirus? She's mindful of the charge.
I don't know. Maybe you want to say it that way. The Gemara is not thinking that that's the way it is, right?
No, I get that. The Gemara seems to hold it's automatic. It's a new contract. As soon as he gets married, new contract.
That's what the Gemara's assumption. Yes, is it's a new contract. Yeah. I don't know. I hear your point. Anyway, so for the next Gemara's kasha, we need one of our favorite Mishnayos in Bava Metzia, right? Which is that the scam of all scams. A guy rents an animal from somebody. So we know that a renter is potter from Einsim. And then he goes and he lends it to somebody else. So that lender is Chayiv in Einsim. And then what happens is an Einis Taka happened. So now, the borrower who borrowed from the guy who rented it, who really didn't own anything, he just rented it, has to pay him an animal. But the renter does not have to pay the owner an animal because the accident happened by an Einis. Right? So we would all say, of course, so he's not getting himself a free animal. Again, what's going to happen here is the renter is going to swear that it was an accident and he's going to be potter from giving it to the owner. And the borrower is going to be chayiv to give an animal to the renter. So basically the renter, he basically bought on margin and made a lot of money, right? He just took an animal and made a lot of money on it, even though he didn't own it, right? So that's a machlokes tanoim, whether the guy can actually do that, or do we say no, he cannot profit off of that, right? So we're going to fit that into the shaila of Rami Bar Chama. What's the shaila of Rami Bar Chama? Going to agra ihi para me alma. She rented a para from somebody, v'hadar naspa, and then they got married, right? So now the man has a right to use the para that was rented out to this lady. It was initially rented out to this lady. Again, he rented it to this lady. He now married this lady. So now he gets to use the animal. I don't think it has to be the same man. It could be either one, I think. Anyways, so whatever it is, it went from a rental to a borrowing. So Baliba the Rabbanan, the Amri Shoyal Mashalim the Seicher, according to the Rabbanan who say that the Shoyal pays to the Seicher. Loiti Boilach, that's not a question. The Vade Shayla B'Bailam, it's for sure Shayla B'Bailam, and he's going to be put. Kiti Boilach, Alida Rav Yaisi, the Amar Tachsa Par L'Bailam, Harishainim. According to Rav Yaisi, who says like what we all thought, that the renter cannot go scam this and go charge the borrower an animal, and then he doesn't have to pay back the animal to the owner, right? Because he's only a renter. So according to him, what's the din here? Shoyal Havi, is he a shoyal? And therefore he is chayiv. A seicher Havi, or is he a seicher? In which case he's going to be potter. So Marava, Ba loy shoyal Havi v'loy seicher. So then Rava comes out of left field and says the whole shaila is not a shaila. A husband is not a borrower or a renter. Right? Ela loy keach Havi. I don't know if this is what you meant before Gershon. The husband is a purchaser. Made the Rabbi Yosef Rab Chanina, that we know that from Rabbi Yosef Rab Chanina. Dam Rabbi Yosef Rab Chanina, Ba'usha Eskino, and Usha de Umasakin, that Ha'isha Shamacha b'Nichse Milug b'Chaye Bailo. Like we were saying on Amar Aleph, Nichse Milug is basically What she brings into the marriage, the husband gets to eat the fruit, but the actual field stays by the woman. But the woman is not allowed to sell the field, because how could she sell the field when the fruits belong to the husband? Let's say she did it, umesa, and then she dies. Now, once she dies, the field really doesn't belong to the husband anymore, right? So Habal, and then Usha, they were masakin, Habal maitim yada lakuchas, the husband can go take it from whoever the woman sold the field to. So what do you see? Right, meaning, so like this, what the takana that they did in Usha was that they made the husband stronger than Stam Yerusha. Right, he's able to go get the field back from whoever it is that she sold it to. Right, so whatever it is, you see from here that it's not a shoyel and it's not a seicher. He's
So how does
actually
that make him a lokeach? Because he's able to take it out from somebody
yes,
that
yes,
makes
because
him
he's
a
considered
lokeach?
the first. He's considered the first lien holder according to the way the Umasakin. He's the first lien holder, and it has to be paid to him before it could be sold to anybody else. He's the lekeach rishon, the way Rashi says it. He's the first lien holder.
Still a big chiddush of Rambam. That din was bal benichse ishtai. This is something she rented.
I hear. Well, even in this particular case, you're saying.
This case, yeah, Rav is a massive chiddush here. He's considered a lekeich even with something she rented before they got married.
But didn't the Gemara call Schiris like kin and liyama before? We had that in I think it was Kazav, I think.
Well, the Schiris
Yeah,
is
but that was as far as the person who rents it's concerned. That's why he's chayiv. But not as far as other people are concerned. It's not his. Otherwise, Rabbi Yossi goes out the window.
Right. No, I hear. Okay, I'm not sure. And it's already 9:35 because I was late, so we're gonna go. Okay, I get bailed out. Okay, boy, let's do a couple of more lines. And tomorrow's daf is very short, so we'll go. Boy, this is a random shaila. So this is talking about where the woman gets a Yerusha, and and of course it goes to the husband. Now within that Yerusha was hektish money that nobody knew about. So now the husband, who's going to be chayiv if the money gets spent? So who's going to be chayiv? Meaning the money went out from hektish, nobody knew about it by mistake. That's what meila is. Meila is using hektish money by mistake. So the money went out by mistake. So what is the din? So meaning the one that takes it out from hektish is the one that's chayiv. So what's the story here? Who's the one that's moil? Amarava man limal. Who should be moil? Limal baal. You're going to say the husband did it. A husband, of course, it's part of the takana that he yarshins the wife, right? Whatever he gets to use the wife's yerusha. But that takana is not to make him chayiv on something. That takana is to make him. That takana is to make him to make him money, not to make him have isurim. So Mamela, it's not the husband. Timol ihi, what about her? So she's over Amila. The Teranami loy nichla delikni. She's not even interested in giving away even the heter stuff. So forget about the husband. She's not even interested in this whole deal. This whole deal is for the man. So Nimalu Bezdin. So what are we gonna say? It's Bezdin's Mayel Kiyov the Rabban Takanta. When did the Chum say at the Kanabamru Balikeach Havid at the Bazalikeach Letera? He said it literally. Surah Layavid Rabbanan Takanta. But for Surah, the Rabbanan never made a takana. Right? So the bottom line is who's over on the Meila? Ella Amarava, Balmal. The Baal is Mayel Kashayitzi Midi. Right when he spends it, that's when he's chayiv. I'm sorry, Kashayitzi when he spends it. Midi Dahava Mighty Mois Hektish Lechulin. The same thing as somebody who takes hektish money and puts it out to chulin. He's over on Meila. The one that takes it out is over on Meila. So, meaning in the Gemara's Havamid, it sounded like somebody's gonna be over on the Meila even before the money gets spent. And here the Gemara is saying, no, that's not. Nobody's gonna be over on it before it gets spent. It's only going to be over when somebody spends it by mistake. So when the husband spends it by mistake, then he's going to be over. Okay, we'll stop over there. I apologize again for being so late.
Yeah, Rashi says that's the half meaning of the Gemara, that